willful blindness was an idea that came to me pretty much when the banks were collapsing, and everybody was saying, oh my goodness, we didn't see this coming. And I thought, oh, don't be ridiculous, everybody saw it coming. And I thought that applied to all sorts of things in our private lives, in our public lives, in our business lives. And I thought, well, I wonder if there's a pattern here. And I really set off to explain, well, why is it that there are always, in any disaster, lots of early warning signs that we somehow don't quite act on? You know, and the great thing about nonfiction is that the stories are true, and they're usually much more remarkable than anything you would dare to make up. So, you know, I both like reading and writing nonfiction because knowing it's true, I think, really gives it an added edge. You can't say, oh, that wouldn't happen, because it did happen. You can't say, oh, there aren't people like that, because there demonstrably are people like that. So I think, you know, I think nonfiction is a bit of an understatement. I really prefer to think that I write about real things in the real world that happen to real people and therefore really matter. I write pretty much every day. And Monday to Friday, I write pretty much all day, every day, unless I'm doing interviews or doing research of some kind. So I'm very fanatical about that. I'm very fanatical about taking it seriously. And that's the job I do, and I treat it as a job. So I'm quite rigid about schedules and deadlines. And that's partly because if projects take too long, then financially they stop being viable. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to earn a living as a writer. And one way you make it sustainable is by making sure that you don't take longer on projects than you have to. I think my favorite word, at least at the moment, is concatenation, which means it's sort of like, you know, dominoes falling, that one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And it's partly because I just think the word sort of sounds like that, with all of those sort of consonants falling over each other. But it's also, you know, there's this saying, you can never do just one thing, because one thing causes other things to happen, and those other things cause other things to happen. And I think that's why, you know, life and business is fundamentally incomprehensible, because you never know where the concatenation stops.